This is Emma McCoy, and welcome to my Kanbar College Scholarship video.
On October 14th, 2017, I had the privilege of taking part in the Jefferson Kanbar College Scholarship Day. I worked in Group 9, and there were only two of us, a girl named Non and myself. It was really cool to work with somebody else that I've never even met before and just have to immediately put aside any preconceived conceptions of what this project would be. We actually started with a completely different idea than what we ended up with. We started with a nonprofit volunteer-based teaching organization, which is what every other group did. And then we kind of focused it into a single project or an object. Our object was called the Earth Cup. It was a little cup that had a removable seed pod that you could plant in the ground, and the cup could then be used for drinking, eating, whatever. And it taught agricultural skills to children, and it also would provide a community garden of sorts where they could have a social group and a social network where they could talk about their difficulties and just create relationships and bonds with people that they normally wouldn't have. Non and I worked really well together. We bounced ideas back and forth. I kind of took the directive of creative leader, while Non did the research. She made sure all of my ideas were plausible, as well as looking up other ideas and other ways to go about planting something in a not so fertile area. We both kind of had separate ways of thinking, which in turn made it a cohesive project because while one of us thought creatively, the other one thought more statistically. And how can we bring both of these together and make them work as one? One thing I learned is that a lot of refugees are being constantly relocated, especially in war-torn countries. As war gets closer to the camp, they have to relocate. We didn't know what our strengths and our differences were until we started working. So we had to focus on the issue at hand and not on outdoing each other. For the time given, our product was really innovative. But if we had had weeks or months to work on this, it would have been a lot more in depth, a lot more thought out, and we would have had a lot more input. While we did get to have a really honed in and focused idea, we didn't have all the input from other people like other bigger groups did. I wouldn't call us disadvantaged, but I would say it was a definite downside to working in a smaller group. I really learned a lot about Jefferson that day, and it really kind of finalized my decision that this is where I want to be. I want to be pushing myself. I want to be thinking outside the box. I want to be using my skills along with others to help think of ways to improve life around the world. I think that this experience really did open my eyes to what life would be like as a Jefferson student, and it makes me really excited to think of what the next 4 years will bring for me.